I'm gonna tell you the story about the case of the Block Codac, but before I do that, we enter day 15, day 16 of this war with Iran. You know, I made a 6-week prediction. We're still within the first month. We will see how this goes. Diplomacy is the way up out of this thing. Hopefully we're able to get back to focusing on us. The 6 airmen have been identified as losing their life in that KC-130 crash in Western Iraq. Major John Klenner, Tech Sergeant Ashley Pruitt, Captain Seth Koval, Captain Curtis Angst, Tech Sergeant Tyler Simmons. 4 Americans lost their lives, 6 Americans lost their lives in this conflict. And I think it's healthy for us to question the strategy decisions of the civilian leadership of our armed forces while giving kudos to the tactical successes of those actually executing on the ground. The tactical successes that we're seeing throughout the Middle East, whether it is successfully refueling, bombing campaigns, missile campaigns, those are fantastic. It's good to see that the ability of our armed forces to make some shit happen. Very, very happy about that. And when we are employed to do some stuff, I think that I like to see the fact that we have the ability to make things happen. But the strategic successes are what we're able to question when it comes to our civilian leadership. That's where you see me talking about America first. And the story of the Block Codac. Imagine this, a high-stake neighborhood. And this high-stake neighborhood has geopolitics. I got work going on right now. I got more security stuff being installed in my house, a little bit of painting going on. Just had the roof replaced. And let's just imagine I break something and I expect my neighbors to come fix it. Let's just say I live in a cul-de-sac, and the cul-de-sac, let's just say there's a cul-de-sac that I need to get stuff out of. There's some prolific cake maker, or there's a babysitter. Let's say there's a daycare in the cul-de-sac. We need to get kids in and out, whatever the case may be. I don't live in the cul-de-sac, but you know, I do drive there, pull up, drop my kids off, pick them up every single day. And there's a bottleneck at the end of that cul-de-sac. Let's just call the whole thing like a straight, right? And there's a dispute going on with me and a neighbor on the cul-de-sac. Although I live a few streets down. My homeboy decide they gonna get into it. They decide that they gonna go ahead and make some stuff happen. They're gonna do that via drones. They're gonna egg some houses. They're going to TP some stuff, but they're not gonna actually put people on the ground to make this stuff happen. Well, one of the people that live on the cul-de-sac decided they're gonna put some rusty ass cars at the end of the street and block the cul-de-sac. They're only gonna let certain people come in and get their kids. Well, what the heck does that mean for everybody else? I'm the one that was getting into it with a neighbor. I don't live on the street. And I told the other folks, I don't need your help initially. I got this shit. You know, I got plenty of eggs. I got plenty of TP capabilities. I got plenty of drones. I'm good to go. But the bottleneck continues. People aren't able to get their kids. People aren't able to get their cake, whatever you want to use for the analogy. And I finally asked neighbors who don't live on that street, let's just call them my European friends, to pull up. I need y'all to pull up. I know y'all got some kids in there. Y'all got some stuff y'all want up out of there. I know y'all didn't break it, but I want y'all to fix it. That's where we might be right now in this conflict. President Trump just came out as of yesterday in urging basically anyone that uses the Strait of Hormuz to send warships there. Pull up, bro. You know what I'm talking about? We need to get these rusty vehicles from the end of this street. I know why you're trying to get the rusty vehicles out the way. You might come under verbal attack. You may be attacked by the neighbors that live on the street, whatever, man. But don't worry about that, man. We all use this. I need y'all to come. I hope they help. I guess if we wouldn't have got started overall with them, we wouldn't have had to worry about this disruption in the first place. The tension was high. I heard the neighbor was gonna go and we went for it. So we're gonna have more strikes on Karg Island, says the president. He says he might even do it for fun. We need the help of other warships from some of our neighbors to pull up and make different things happen. And this is a critical thing for everybody, and it's coming all the way down to the smallest minute detail. When I say smallest minute detail, I'm talking about stuff like, first of all, if you're thinking about growing your own crops or gardening or whatever the case may be, because you like to prep like I do, the cost of fertilizer is already starting to go up. Of course, fertilizer for big farms, potatoes and corn and stuff like that, those prices were already expected to go up. They've already gone up 7%, in some cases 17% for big farmers. But for folks like us, residential people, people who have enough land that they want to be able to sustain some stuff, it's already starting to rise as well. So we already got an increase in gas prices, diesel prices, anything petroleum based such as tires, plastics, cosmetics, etc. Those are already starting to go up. And then now we're seeing increased prices in fertilizer. And eventually we can see increased prices in food if these farmers are having to pass the cost of higher fertilizer because they can't get it from the strait on us. That shit sucks, bro. We're deep in the escalation trap. Last video I said that we were possibly falling in the escalation trap. No, we're there. The escalation trap seems to V out like this. I'll put a picture on the screen from a professor from the University of Chicago who explains it best. Is that, you know, you start with tension down here and you start with just a little bit of a bombing campaign. And then Iran hits you back by hitting your Amazon institutions in the UAE or United Arab Emirates, hitting your bases in Bahrain and Qatar, hitting different institutions such as Crete, French bases, and oil facilities that we depend on. And we've escalated into almost a broader war versus introducing diplomacy. This is something that I hope I'm right about the 6-week timeline for this, but as every day I wake up, I'm talking and getting stuff done, supposed to be enjoying the St. Patty's Day weekend, although I'm not Irish, we see more stuff that might be hitting my pockets. This is something that I'm not a fan of, and I think that if you're all about this war, all about this conflict, I really hope that you can explain to me how Iran, who is just in it to survive, is not meeting their biggest objective, which is to keep the strait closed, except for the countries they give the good to go to, such as China, India, and if Russia has any, you know, things that they want out of that strait as well, or Iranian ships themselves have the good to go. We have so much that we have to concern ourselves with, especially now that this war seems to be getting bigger, that it's not looking good for it slowing down anytime soon. Not only that, we have the trap of the war, but here at home, you know that the government is partially shut down? Yeah. So we are having everything that's going on over there where TSA agents are being donated groceries and gift cards and gas cards because they're missing paychecks. Lines are crazy long, which is a security threat. The lines in the DC area, the Atlanta area, Austin, Texas airports are egregiously long, making those ripe targets for anybody that may be sympathizers with what's going on in the Middle East to say, hey, there's a bunch of people in this one particular area. Why not? There's attacks under the Second Amendment going on in Virginia where they're targeting possibly weapons they deem to be assault rifles, whatever the heck that means, or high capacity magazines, which I guess they determine to be 20 or more or 30 or more. I don't know. All that shit I own. And now it seems to be that they're going after the jugular for it. This is a quick update for you, but more of an update to say that this is a conflict that I hope we get a ceasefire sooner than later, because it takes a while to turn the spigots back on. It takes a while to not just unblock the Codac, but to feel comfortable for those other neighbors to start sending their SUVs back up in there and pick the shit up that they need. Iran doesn't see a need for a ceasefire, and they definitely don't see a need to give up their biggest, maybe only leverage, which is closing the Strait of Hormuz. Not sure how this goes, not sure where it leads next, but I would love to know what your comments down below. Do you think we are making gains with our strategic decisions? Are you happy about our tactical wins as much as I am? Because I'm definitely very happy about how we're moving tactically with our services and our armed forces there. Now I'm gonna tell you my guess of how all this ends. I've already told you my 6-week guess, but I'm gonna tell you how I overall think this is going to go. The president said that the Iran military is 100% depleted and defeated. That obviously can't be true because they're still sending drones and missiles every single night to Israel and their neighboring states there. So But I'm going to tell you what I think their guess is going to be. Their military is going to be devastated. Okay. That doesn't mean that it's going to be 100% depleted. They'll eventually rebuild it. The regime is going to survive. The Strait of Hormuz is going to stay closed until there's some type of compromise that all parties agree to, which mostly is Israel, the United States, and Iran, whether we release some sanctions or whatever the hell we decide to do. I believe that we're going to just declare victory, and they're going to sell it, and they're going to say we won. They're going to keep their nuclear program. Eventually, they're going to begin to rebuild it. Oil prices are going to drop. Fertilizer prices are going to drop. Anything petroleum based is going to drop. And then we're going to be back here in, I don't know, 2 to 7 years after they finish building everything back up. That's my guess. It's because the only way that this goes 100% how our objectives are laid out on paper is if we do ground forces and nation building, which I don't think we're going to do. I just told you what I think my prediction is. I hope I'm right about that, because now we're in it. But tell me where I'm wrong. Comment down below. First time stopping by, hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you part of the battalion. If this is not your first time stopping by, well, thank you once again for watching me run my grape. For everyone else, we'll speak soon.